Salz coughs again, harsh and ragged in the cold air outside Hameln. His grandmother's words ring in his ears. "Clear your lungs, boy, or the sickness will swallow you whole." Around him, the village drinks deeply of poisoned mead, the hops crawling with mold no one can see yet. Madness festers beneath their laughter, and soon rats will swarm their streets. But Salz, weak, eccentric, marked by a name heavy with meaning, he alone feels the chill of danger most sharply. What will happen when the fog lifts and he must speak the bitter truth? Something deadly is brewing. Let's start with Salz himself. His name is no accident, and his struggle isn't just physical. There's a story stitched into every letter, a heavier weight than his disease. In the Saxon village of Hameln, Salz is an outcast living with a father who barely acknowledges him. But Salz's name? It's deliberate. S for soul's salvation, A for activity and ability, L for loyalty and lightheartedness, Z for zeal in making money. Yet Salz himself admits some parts, A, L, and Z, are wishful thinking. It's a subtle, ironic marker of how his family tries to imagine more for him than his fragile body might manage. Think of names like Salz's as armor forged before battle. In the Middle Ages, names weren't just labels. They were destiny, armor plating a boy against a harsh world. Each letter acts as a rune, a charm to call forth qualities his family desperately wants him to have, even though his fragile lungs whisper otherwise. It's like carrying a sword that's heavier than your arm can hold, both protection and burden. This layered hope embedded in Salz's name foreshadows his journey. Despite chronic illness and the shadow of death, Salz battles not just for breath, but to turn those wishful letters into real life. By story's end, that hope deepens, the survival of his soul becomes more tangible than anyone expects. This isn't just a sickness story. It's a testament to the human spark surviving in impossible odds. Salz's body is a battleground. Cystic fibrosis, unknown in his time, is a silent enemy. But how he survives offers us a vivid lesson in fighting what we can't see. Salz's grandmother knows the village's mead and beer are riddled with toxic mold, invisible but deadly. She forbids Salz from drinking the mead, a punishment in a culture built on it, and teaches him lung-clearing techniques passed down secretively. These aren't just grandma's remedies, they're a lifeline. Every cough, every breath Salz manages is a skirmish against the relentless grip of his disease and poison all around him. Imagine breathing through a straw clogged with sawdust. Every breath takes immense effort. Cystic fibrosis constricts Salz's lungs, a thief stealing oxygen. In a medieval town with no medicine, this is fatal. Yet survival isn't just about medicine, it's about strategy. Avoiding poison and using breathing exercises is Salz's version of a medieval battlefield maneuver, strength and cunning over brute force. By mastering his breath, Salz transforms a biological weakness into a calculated advantage. While others fall into hallucination and madness from mold-tainted mead, Salz's lungs stay clear enough to see reality and to warn his people. It's a metaphor for resilience. Sometimes survival is less about fighting harder and more about learning new ways to breathe through the chaos. An invisible enemy spreads through Hameln. A toxic mold on the hops infects the mead and beer, twisting minds and turning men into chaos. And only Salz sees clearly. The town of Hameln depends on mead and beer made from local hops, but a mold grows unnoticed, poisoning every barrel. As the villagers drink, they slip into vivid, dangerous hallucinations. Laughter turns to rage, paranoia spreads, and reason unravels. Salz, who avoids the mead, witnesses this descent firsthand. While neighbors scream at shadows, Salz is trapped by silence, knowing he alone sees the truth, a terrifying isolation. Think of the mold like a fog rolling over a city. It clouds every brain, wrapping people in illusions as thick as smoke. This poison doesn't just damage bodies, it hijacks minds, blurring lines between reality and nightmare. In groups, this cloud feeds off itself, turning townsfolk into a pack of wild animals ruled by fear and frenzy, their communal madness spiraling out of control. Salz's advantage becomes a curse. By staying sober, he becomes the lone voice of reason trying to pierce through the chaos, like a lighthouse keeper warning ships during a storm. But confronting a city drunk on hallucinations isn't just lonely, it's life-threatening. His struggles force us to ask, what price does it take to tell a truth no one wants to hear? Following the madness comes the rat plague, a sinister curse that haunts Hameln's streets. Salz's journey intertwines with this darkness in ways no one could predict. As the mold's hallucinations grip Hameln, a swarm of rats descends on the town, bringing sickness no one can stop. These rats aren't just vermin, they're harbingers of death, scurrying through alleys, consuming hope. Salz watches as neighbors flee or fall ill. He knows from whispered tales, the memory of the Pied Piper, that these rats symbolize more than plague. They represent the failure of the town to save itself. Rats in medieval towns were like wildfire in a dry forest, impossible to control and deadly. They bring plague, famine, and fear. Hameln's rat invasion becomes a metaphor for unchecked disaster. Once it starts, it spreads faster than you can blink. It's a chilling reminder that neglecting small dangers, like the poisoned mead or Salz's illness, can invite catastrophe. Salz must face death symbolized by the rats, but unlike his neighbors paralyzed by fear or madness, he navigates the darkness with cautious wisdom. His survival isn't luck, it's confronting terrifying truths no one else can face. In doing so, Salz embodies a critical lesson. Surviving horror means embracing reality, no matter how grim. Through sickness, madness, and death, Salz clings to love and hope, forces more powerful than any plague or mold. His story challenges what survival really means. Salz's greatest champion is his grandmother. Her love isn't just comfort, it's medicine. She defies village superstition, protecting Salz with knowledge and fierce care. Their bond is a silent rebellion against despair. Through every cough and shadowed night, her presence is a steady heartbeat reminding Salz he isn't alone, that love can be a shield when the world turns dark. Hope in Salz's world is like planting flowers in barren soil. Against odds stacked high, hope fuels persistence. It makes breathing more than a mechanical act. It turns survival into purpose. Salz's name itself is a beacon of this hope, a family's wish woven into a fragile boy's life story. That hopeful spirit is what lets Salz not only survive but hint at a brighter future beyond the darkness. By the end, Salz stands as a symbol that sometimes defying reality means rewriting it. His clear mind, love-armed heart, and unyielding will challenge madness and plague alike. Salz shows us survival isn't just about staying alive. It's about carrying truth and love forward, lighting a path through even the darkest tunnels of history. Remember Salz's ragged cough from the village edge. He wasn't just fighting cystic fibrosis, or the poisoned mead, or the swarm of rats. Salz was battling the very story the town told itself about sickness, madness, and survival. His journey shows that survival isn't just brute force or medicine. It's mastering your breath when the world chaos spills in, embracing hope when others despair, and speaking the truth no one wants to hear, even at great risk. So next time you face a hard truth, breathe deep, hold tight to hope, and keep speaking, no matter how lonely it feels. Try carrying your Salz like a shield, turning wishful thinking into your reality. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.